So here we are filming at the church today. This is our third installment of the introduction to Sunday's sermon, and we've been looking at the 2020 Vision series. We've talked about having clarity and that 2020 vision around His purpose for each of us individually. And then also, last week we talked about hearing His voice. We looked at Samuel, the story of Samuel. Speak, Lord, for thy servant is listening, and the implications of that, and needing to hear His voice. And Pastor Gary talked about hearing His voice in various ways, through nature, through confirmation from others, and of course through His Word. And it's going to be different for everyone, but I think there may be some that are going, I'm not sure if I'm hearing Him, or I'm waiting to hear Him. I don't know if I'm hearing Him right. And we want to look today at clarity to be able to hear Him well. You might not have the ability to hear Him well. You might feel confused, or there might be some sort of a blockage there, and you're like, I'm coming to Him, but I just feel like nothing's happening. So what we want to look at this week is what could be those hindrances? What's standing in the way? What could be obstacles from us hearing from Him? He definitely wants to speak to us, but we've got to do some self-examination and figure out what might be standing in the way. I want to read from Isaiah. The prophet Isaiah is speaking to the people in Isaiah 57, verse 14. Build up, prepare the road. Remove the obstacles out of the way of my people. Removing obstacles. And I was thinking about what's a good analogy for that, because we're talking about 2020 vision. We want to have clarity, but if there's obstacles, what do we do about that? And I was sort of reminded about these. Many of you might not have ever seen me without glasses. I used to wear contacts all the time. I had to switch to glasses, and let me tell you, it wasn't a fun time, but I'm used to it now. One thing for me with wearing glasses is I hate smudges. I hate when there's a little fleck of something on there. I hate when there's a fingerprint on there. It drives me bonkers. I need clarity. And I'll tell you what's really a strange thing when you're that type of person is when someone else who wears glasses has smears all over them, and they just carry on. At the end of the day, you're looking and you're seeing all the smudges from the day, and it doesn't seem to bother them. And I have no idea how they do that. But here's the takeaway from this. For me, smudges and not being able to see clear really drives me nuts. But if I was someone who could ignore those and it didn't bother me, and I went through the entire day, over time I'd get used to that. I'd get used to the fact that that's what my vision was like, and it didn't bother me. Same with our faith. We can get used to the lack of clarity because there's something in the way that we don't even see. We've gotten so used to it. We've gotten so used to how we operate, how we conduct ourselves, how we see God. We've gotten so used to possibly creating our own idea of Christianity, our own idea of what God means by this, or He's okay with me doing that. It could be any number of things. The point is, there could be obstacles, and you might not even realize this. So we're going to be looking this week at what could those hindrances, what could those obstacles be? And then from there, we're going to be looking at what do we do about that? Is it time to clean those glasses? Is it time to have better clarity? That 2020 vision is only achievable when we take them off, look at them and go, oh, I got some work to do here. I've got to get clarity. I want to see better. I want to see clearly. I want to see in focus. I want to see without the gunk on my glasses. So I just pray this week as we get ready for the sermon that would be something that you begin to ask God. Is there something? Is there a blockage? Is there something that I've set up in my life or that I feel comfortable with that really, it's making it hard to have 20/20 vision, and it's making it really hard to hear you and to see you and to know you for the God that you are and that you offer us in each of our lives to be. Pray that as we go through this week that we'll be considering that and bringing that to God. Let's pray. Father, thank you again for this opportunity to meet in this way, and we just pray a blessing on everyone in our church body and those that watch that perhaps aren't part of our church family, but God, we are your children. We are the church universal. And your word speaks to each of us uniquely, but God, your word also is God-breathed. It's perfect. It stands on its own. And we thank you for that, for everyone who believes in you, God. It is truth. So I pray that as we seek this 20/20 vision, that we seek clarity, that you would help us to see where we've maybe developed some ideas, some thoughts, those obstacles, those hindrances that would make it more difficult to hear your voice because we think we've got it figured out and we don't. So we come to you and ask that we would just put our guard down, take those filters off, and ask you to show us where we need to be hearing from you, hearing your word afresh, realizing that you are sovereign. You have given us your word, and it's perfect. It's clear. It's for us today.